Hello everyone, especially who interested into art and cultural life. In this video, I'm wondering to let you see special events in Mercer Island Community Center that showing a very fabulous show about Japanese arts, and let's me to show you all of the works that's showing in this events, and I have some interview with the artists as well. Please don't forget to subscribe this video to see more videos about art events and cultural life.
Seems like a very fair price compared to some of the other prices I've seen.
I do.
But you know about the Wall Street.
Tell us what your favorite is.
Yes, of course. What is yours?
I haven't found it yet. I love it so much.
I have some idea. One of them I show you.
Okay.
خیلی خیلی ممنونم که ویدیو رو تماشا کردین. همونطور که ملاحظه کردین این آثار هنری سنتی هست که بر اساس سومی و حرکات قلممو از هنر شرق در واقع استخراج شده. کارها ظرافت خاصی دارن و ضربات قلممو و مهارت ضربات قلممو در آنها بسیار خوب و دقیق اجرا شده. همچنین کارها بیشتر با متریال آبرنگ و آب مرکب هستند که خودش جذابیت‌های خاصی داره که میتونین باید با مهارت خیلی زیادی به دست بیارید.
The Maibal hostessing, and along with my friend Suzanne and Mary, that's also here. And we just are really happy to have the Digicel Sumi artists here. And I will turn it back over to Alice so she can talk about your art.
Thank you very much. And first, I want to welcome everyone to be here. And I would like to introduce some guests first. Introduce a special guest here. You see her taking the little phone camera, and I will let her introduce herself. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, she spoke about me that I made a video about this event.
Talk about their art a little bit. So maybe we have so many people here. So maybe I'll start with Lois.
Okay. I joined PSSA, I think, about 2004. So it's just a wonderful organization.
Louder.
I'm sorry. And I always wanted to study calligraphy, but I had the opportunity to study Sumi-e first. And so I had the good fortune to know the founders of PSSA. I think, has Anne passed away as well? So they've all passed, which is just so sad. But Fumiko Kimura was the expert in Sumi painting. Mary Bottomley was our calligraphy master, and Annie Noet had an expertise in Ikebana, and together they formed the organization. So I started with Fumiko and loved Sumi painting, and then started studying with Mary, and that just opened up a whole new world for me. I just really enjoyed Shodo, which is the Asian brush calligraphy. So in my work, you'll see I've learned in the course of working with my art that I really enjoy really strong brush strokes and try to create the most interesting lines and dots that I can. So you'll see a lot of that in my work. And I found that I was a minimalist as well. Traditionally, Sumi painting is about 65% negative space and only 35% positive space. And in a group show, you see tremendous variety, which is, Western art influence, which is great. But I found that I just really enjoy the more minimalist approach, or Zen approach to Sumi painting. So I have both a combination of Shodo pieces as well as Sumi-e. And I like to talk about the one there. You can see the big, bold black strokes with the fish. That was actually Breath of Life. Breath of Life. And the thing is, well, I don't get to explain the because actually that was one of my, I was preparing the turkey for TV, and then there's always this reject pile, right? And I had to prepare for a show that was, it was like Sumi outside of the box, beyond what normally happens. And so I took one of my rejects and turned it upside down. And decided that, I wanted to talk my life and see this was up. And that was a foundation for that piece. And my stretch was to fill all the negative space, which was almost painful for me because I never do that. So you'll see, that's the only piece I have that's
We saw
totally
a lot
full.
of jellyfish and
Yes,
bubbles.
I had to try to be creative to fill the space. But anyway, that's the history behind that. Otherwise, you'll probably, see my pieces are pretty minimal compared to a lot of the work, and that's.
So Lois is our calligraphy teacher in our group, Sumi group. So she teaches calligraphy, Asian calligraphy, once a month. Yeah, for our member to it's a free class. So anybody in our organization can take the class on Zoom for free. So join us.
And maybe just a little historical note. The reason there's such a strong link is that ink painting originated from calligraphy. So there's this, inherent foundation that combines the both. So.
Yes. So I remember when we were in school, we cannot practice Sumi painting unless we practice calligraphy first. Because all the brush strokes came from calligraphy. We use calligraphy stroke to make the painting. So that's a very, very interesting history about why they're so closely connected, right? Right. So, Sarah, you have a beautiful calligraphy piece over there.
Thank you very much.
So talk about that.
Well, about 4 years ago, I think at least, I came to a PSSA show because I was taking Sumi painting from Lois. and I saw this black and white thing, and I thought it was so cool. I remember I came back and I asked him, so what, I remember like a big, you know, that big, what was it? And he said, oh, that's calligraphy. So Lois got me into it, and since then I've been taking some pretty intensive courses and things like that, and this is my first show, and I'm really excited about it because I want to do for other people what Lois did for me. Okay, I want someone to look at that and say, that is so cool, I want to learn how to do that.
Yes, yes.
So that's, yes.
And I have to tell you, you did a very beautiful job. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
I studied calligraphy since I was little, and not everybody can write like you did. So it's
appreciate you
really a
saying
good
that.
job.
Yeah.
Really good
Appreciate
job.
it.
Yeah. Thank you. Hard work. So really, he's been working hard.
Well, you invited us to submit up to 10 pieces. So, but as I was gathering the work and putting it in a portfolio, I thought to myself, why in God's name did I decide to submit 10 pieces? It's a lot to carry. Thank you. Oh, I just want to shout out to my Tai Chi teacher.
Oh, Tai Chi teacher.
She teaches right here on Mercer Island, and actually not too far from the community center. Well, I do have 10 pieces in the show. They're of very subject matter and some different series that I've been working on. I tend to work in series, and
That's what I want to hear about. So what's that series about? The Morse Mountain or Mountain?
oh,
You have the same.
Morris Graves.
Morris, yes.
Okay, I think it's in memory, not in memory of, but Ahmad. Well, Morris Graves did some paintings of flowers that had a kind of transcendent aspect to them, and that have a kind of Asian quality. And so part of what I did for this exhibit was to include two pieces that are show flowers in a vase,
Yes.
and that they have that some quality of light and some quality of life, I hope, that reminded me of the Morris Graves pieces, and so that's how the title came about, and that's partially what I was thinking about.
Wonderful,
in my mind.
wonderful, beautiful. I love the flowers. Yeah, too. Yes.
Which piece is yours? I'm sorry.
Well, there's two. There's one.
The one below the
Right below the
calligraphy.
calligraphy.
Yeah.
And then there's one on the other wall.
Yeah.
And actually, I did the piece directly below the floor, so you can
Yeah.
see that they're very different. The
That's
one
a
below it
different series.
is a lunar nightscape, and interestingly enough, I mean, the full moon sometimes is a symbolism for enlightenment in Asian culture. Not that I was thinking about that too specifically. And actually, there's calligraphy on that piece as well. There's a haiku poem that I wrote and worked with a friend to have it translated into Japanese in this case. And so there's calligraphy on that piece as well. Can I remember the poem? I think it's hiking in the mountains of Idaho, moonlight for dessert.
Need anything,
در
right?
هنر شهر از
No. Okay,
آب
Lisa
استرس
is our
استفاده می‌کنم برای
executive
تبدیل به
secretary.
خط
So,
و نقاشی. مثلا اینجا الان
Yeah.
می‌بینیم که این یک خروس هست.
Yeah, three other pieces. One is the moonlight, the blossoms, plum blossoms under moonlight, that one, and some Canada geese ascending, that one, and yeah, those are my paintings. Am I missing anybody? Other artists? No?
These pieces are some pieces of nighttime, and they came about after a hike I did in Idaho, and I took a walk at night in the moonlight, and just walking by this creek and having the moon reflecting off the creek, I can picture it in my mind right now, even though it was many years ago. It was so moving and lyrical, and nature is important to me. So back in the studio, I was trying to recreate or be inspired by that moment. And these pieces were done by using a resist technique for the white. They were asking me about that earlier. And also by staining the paper. The Sumi paper, the Asian papers tend to be pretty thin, and so you can stain them from the front or the back. So there's kind of a technique that I developed using resist and the staining of the paper to get the effect that I wanted. And yeah, it was really fun to try to capture the moon and in a kind of minimal way, that moment in time for me. What else do I want to say about these? There's a poem on this painting, written in Japanese, and the poem is a haiku poem. I'm also a haiku poet. The poem is hiking in the mountains of Idaho, moonlight for dessert.
Excellent, awesome. Actually, it's a same character in the Eastern art that mix the calligraphy and the poem with the painting. And we have a same culture in Iranian art, and we use
In which art?
Iranian art.
Iranian art.
Yeah, and we use the calligraphy in beside of the painting, and yeah, it's really awesome. It's really the character of the Eastern art, I think.
Well, I love the Eastern calligraphy. It's a more traditional Sumi piece, and shrimp is kind of a traditional subject. But shrimp are such a wonderful subject to paint. Now, about 20 years ago or so, I went shrimping. I like to fish and shrimp. And when I pulled that shrimp up from 300 feet below, from Hood Canal, I thought to myself, do I want to reach for chopsticks or my Sumi brush? And I love painting shrimp. So this is a kind of a typical, or not typical, but a shrimp and fairly straightforward strokes. But the contrast of the body of the shrimp with the long thin antenna is one of the things that I like doing. And here, the seals there. So that's one seal with my initials, and then another seal in the traditional ancient script. So I really do like doing shrimp. I expect to be doing shrimp for the rest of my life. There's just so much to capture and with them.
Of course. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. A series that I call the Haiku series, and I was thinking about, empty space, which is something that Sumi artists think about a lot, to make sure that the white of the pictorial plane is part of the composition and helps the work to breathe. But also I was thinking about the contrast between the ephemeral and the universal or the permanent. So it has a sense of nature about it, and in my mind anyway, some of these other aspects are sort of the DNA that recurs year after year, or the forest becomes dormant year after year but then recurs. So I was thinking about these ideas of the temporary versus the recurring, or the permanent versus the temporary. And so that's part of the haiku series.
Thank you.
This one's titled My Forest.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you. Looks great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this painting is about plum blossoms under the moonlight, and they're blooming really vibrantly. So I love the life energy in this lighting, and I always love the moon. It has a warm and lovely feeling, and give this painting painting a little more life, you know, a lot of.
Is this your work?
Yes, yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
So-
I want to take a picture of that.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
I'm taking a class right now from China Institute in New York.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
In
and
New
I
York.
just started Chinese brush painting.
Good for you.
And so I was gonna take some pictures and post it for the instructor to see
Good
that I
for
was
you.
here.
Good for you.
But yeah, I'm very interested in your organization too.
Thank
You
you.
know, when I get a little bit better, maybe I could join.
Yes, you could certainly join us because we now have Zoom meetings every month, and we have a workshop. It's all by Zoom, so basically you can be anywhere
So
in the country.
are there like training and all that there,
Yes,
or?
yes, every month,
Really?
we have a program.
Uh-huh.
And it has, we can give you presentation, and sometimes it's a workshop, sometimes it's a free workshop.
I think this is one of the hardest things
So-
that I've ever
So
done.
you can contact me.
Oh, okay.
If
Thank
you want.
Okay,
and,
Alice.
and you can also get our brochure. We have brochures
I already
there.
picked up your brochure.
Right. So you
yeah.
can go to our website.
Okay.
and you can
I
join
will. I
us.
had no idea there was such a thing here because I was looking
Yeah.
and looking and
Oh.
I couldn't find anything, and then I finally ended up at this.
Yeah,
China-
we have
China.
monthly meeting and monthly newsletter. I do newsletter too. In the newsletter, we also have a lot of information
Really?
for people to learn about different kind of Sumi art. And also we let people know about the origin of Sumi painting
Right.
and the ink, how the ink stick was made, things like that.
Yeah, there's such a process in
Yeah.
loading up your ink.
And there's so many different techniques, different styles, different techniques.
Right.
So we every month we will talk about different topics
I see.
in our meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you join us, we can certainly play together,
Yeah,
learn
yeah,
together.
exactly. Yeah, I like to do that.
Yeah. So
I
you're
would
you're living in New York?
No, I live right here.
Right here. Oh, wonderful.
And
That's
I-
even better.
Yeah, I live right here, and I'm an artist, and I've been for a long time.
Oh, wonderful.
And I teach art and things like that.
Wonderful.
But I wanted to learn because I was born in Japan,
Yes, yes.
and I studied Sumi and
Yes.
calligraphy in Japan when I was a little young girl.
Oh, yes, yes,
And
me
then-
too.
Really?
In Taiwan.
Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then lately I've been thinking, God, I just kept
Yeah.
thinking about it,
Do more
thinking
about
of it.
it.
Yes. So finally I said, I gotta sign up for a class.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
that's what I did.
You have to join us so we can
Okay.
get together.
Yes,
You know,
okay.
we have a lot of exhibits every year. So
Uh-huh.
next one in Puyallup will be in June and July. And then in September, October, we will have another exhibit at the Tacoma Community College.
I see.
And then next year we already have 2 exhibits scheduled. You know, one is in the Washington Center for Performing Arts in Olympia, and another one is in another Tacoma gallery in
see.
Tacoma. So we have a lot of exhibits opportunity, so you can practice.
Well, if
and
I ever
join
get
us.
to that point, I mean,
Oh
gee.
yes, oh yes. Everybody can have your special style.
Right. Right now, well, I'm busy practicing trees and branches. Trees
Yes,
and branches. You know.
yes.
Actually, I think, especially in your art, in this part, trees always could be a symbol of life.
Yes.
And the moon
I
could be
love
a symbol of purity. And
Yes.
this work, I
Yes.
think you can match this life and purity with together.
Right.
It's the symbol of your art style. I really
Right.
like that.
Oh, thank you,
Do
thank
you
you.
use the
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a chance to visit this fabulous show. Please continue to watching my video and subscribe this channel. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.